Hey everybody, it's Commander Clyde. Welcome to a new thing. I've never done a live reaction reveal type video with SMITE before. This would be the first one I've ever done. So it's going to be Atlas, obviously. I have read through the patch notes already, so I do kind of know what's coming. This is on the VOD, by the way, because I didn't watch it live because I didn't plan ahead for this, but anyway, we're going to get right into this here.
Hold it any longer. Let's check him out in game.
Yeah. Hopefully the game sound or the desktop audio is good.
Oh, he looks so cool.
That's so awesome.
Just the big man with the nice hair. Mm-hmm. He's got the sky up in his hands. Big man running, smack. His ability, throw the thing, do the thing, suck it. And then space laser. Yeah, dude, epic.
So he did a lot of stuff there.
I'm so sick, man. Like, the dude, he feels like spaceman. He just has full command over space.
So Atlas's standard basic attack is actually a just standard melee chain. You can see there he does an initial hit, another initial hit, and then a cleave. These initial hits are actually slower. They're all 1.25.
So yeah, when he's got his astrolabe, you know, he does.
Have a standard one attack ever at any point.
Basic attack is 1.25 every hit. The last one is cleave.
From damaging characters, and he gets an extra basic attack.
So it's 1.25 seconds per swing, or 1.25 speed. I mean.
But once we get to
for basic attack,
we can talk about the other form that his basic attack can change.
Ooh, will do. So let's. How about his passive? His passive is called the Astrolabe, and I mean we can see it right there.
Yep, the Astrolabe. You can see that passive meter building up. Yeah. He now has the kind of floating orbs around it.
Let me turn this up just a little bit.
That means his next basic attack by holding the Astrolabe is going to be that big slam down. This does bonus flat damage that scales off your level, as well as trembles enemy gods who are in there.
See, wait, there's a better way to do this.
It'll stun minions as well, so you get some extra utility there.
Yeah, all kinds of things you can bend that into. So his first ability, Unburden. Let's get into that.
Yep,
did I talk about the
he actually throws the Astrolabe.
AoE auto thing with his passive? Did they show that? Yeah, there it is. So yeah, if he's got his passive charged, he does a big AoE auto attack on his next auto. It's energy thing. He has to be at 20 energy on his passive.
Yep, so the first ability, Unburden, he actually throws the Astrolabe, and this is a unique part of the character. Most of our weapons in Smite, when you throw them, they just kind of like disappear and reappear.
It's so cool you can just throw it out and does things with it.
You can see that he loses it. He's not holding it anymore. It is out. It is deployed.
So Ponce, you throw it out and it's just there. And then if I think, I don't know if that's a click or a refire of the ability to do the AoE damage. Oh wait, no, that's his. That actually is a click because that's his basic attack for the duration that it's down.
He actually has a few level scalings in his kit to make sure that his kind of damage is more uniform and controlled over the course of the game.
Yeah, make it harder.
Stack a lot of energy with that.
Throw the Astrolabe and beat someone to death from across the map.
Yep. And I think the final thing to note here is that when it actually is thrown and deployed, it does do initial damage in the area as well as slows targets.
So yeah, initial damage there, and then your autos are a ranged air quotes attack in that AoE.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a huge mass. It's a basically the entire cosmos condensed down to his Astrolabe. He can just control the gravity of it because that is how astronomy works.
Yeah, the dude has the entirety of space in his hands, so he can just manipulate gravity.
If they're in the far part of it, they'll just get pulled towards Atlas. But if they're in that close critical range, they actually will get pulled into the Astrolabe itself. And Atlas is able to freeze.
Yeah, so like Pun said,
he's able to move during that.
The distant cone is, it just pulls targets toward you, and the close one pulls them into the thing, and you can throw them again for more damage.
This does change, however, if he has his Astrolabe deployed. So if he throws the Astrolabe and then uses it, it'll follow the same rules. It has that outer area and inner area. Outer area, they get pulled towards the Astrolabe. But if they're in the inner area, they get pulled to the center and then thrown towards wherever Atlas is at that point.
So yeah, the interaction with the deployable, it's not like
Yep, 2 ways to control, one more.
They've done this a
direct
little bit
upfront,
differently.
one
It's
more
not like a
prone
stance
range,
change
you
thing
get
or
more
a separate
agility.
ability. It's just an effect
some extras
based
you can
on
do there.
where
If
the
you're up in
astrolabe
the front
is.
line, you need to go peel for your back line, you can toss it back there and use the pull to try and get people off.
Yeah.
A lot of different options here with how you want to use the
So,
That's some primary goals.
Think about it kind of chalk with his throwing axe, although his ult doesn't interact with the axe anymore, which is kind of boring. But it's that type of thing. It just changes the effect of the ability depending on where his weapon is.
You know, when you separate off from your lane and go to start handling, you know, checking on other lanes and trying to get those ganks off.
And like, it's important to note that 2 is a very powerful ability because you can grab a target and put them where you want, which is kind of a big deal for a non-ultimate. Although it's not a Fender ultimate, because I'm fairly certain if you interrupt him at any point when he's using that, it will take the cooldown off of it. And so you can cancel the ability while he's channeling it or stop him from throwing. So it's not a full Fender ult because you can prevent him from actually using the ability.
There's just going to be so much that you can get done with that. I'm super
That's a very important distinction to make. And that's kind of its balance
The towers if you get a little bit too close.
Exactly.
for being non-ultimate.
I go to dive and he's like, I'm just going to
Is that
that's fine.
whether or not you grab a target is conditional based on the range and all that stuff.
Yep, so kinetic charge, if you use it just normally, it's a pretty standard charge. You run into
There's
targets,
just 3 he
AoE
runs at
on
people.
When you land, doesn't damage. And you can see that
Imagine you open up the door and this man is sprinting at you, dude. Like, what do you do?
That circle around you, if you have allies get passed through there when you're charging, you actually take burdens from them. You'll cleanse them of any movement speed slows they have at that moment and give them a movement speed burst. And you'll take those burdens with you. And then if you run into a god at that point, you'll actually dump the burdens onto them.
So it's AoE slow cleanse. If you get 3 of them, you throw them on a target. The next target you hit, and it's 75% slow if you got all 3 stacks.
You can also use it defensively to make sure that someone's slowed. You can
So that's fun.
Yeah, another good peel thing. You know, they slow your hunter. You just run past, take that slow away.
Or it can just be like, bro, I gotta run you down. Sprints at you.
If you use this maybe like a soul lane or a jungle.
Why do I hear boss music?
You actually don't have access to that slow. You need an ally nearby you to gain access to that form of CC.
Yeah, I'm just imagining, like you said, like team fight's about to start. You're standing
Bonk.
line. You barrel past everybody. Get all of that, all of those stacks. Hit the first person.
Yo, if they don't come out with a football skin for him, like, missed opportunity.
Finally, and I mean, we got to see it once, but I
I want this dude running at you with this football.
Gamma ray burst.
Yep. So he kind of
Oh, here's the old.
and the
And
kind of his domain. He's learned to
zap.
he can call down a gamma ray burst from the sky. You can see there that when you first cast it down, you have that kind of like more translucent
That does
beam,
put a smile on my face, you know. You
this
can't help
beam
but smile every time you
more of
see
a
the
radius.
giant laser.
It actually doesn't do that much damage, but it does provide a huge protection shred and a power debuff. So you don't want to really be standing in this. If he jumps it on you in the middle of a fight, you're going to be
So
doing a
yeah,
lot more damage
the
to
AoE
trees,
is a
lot more
protection
damage to, jungler that makes it
strip and a
harder.
power debuff,
As
on
well
the
as you're
initial
trying to do
AoE,
less damage yourself.
which does tick damage.
Then at any point during it, or after 5 seconds, you can fire it. And at that point, the gamma ray burst focuses and travels across the map. Not fully global. It's about, I want to say it's like 800 or 900 units. You can definitely go from mid lane to soul lane, but going from like dual lane to soul lane is a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
But
So, dude,
definitely
it's
really
kind of
well
like, you know,
But at that moment of focus, it does
you can.
some more damage, and immediately applies 3 stacks worth of that protection shred and power debuff.
Wow.
So if you want to just quick fire it to get some immediate protection shred, you can. If you want to try and get as many stacks as you can and then send it chasing someone down, you can. But you can see there it actually leaves like the burn marks on the ground and
Well, see, the important thing to note with the power debuff and the prot stripping, the stacks rank up. So it's 5 stacks from rank 1 and 2. I think 6 stacks for rank 3 and 4, and then the last rank is 7. So that's for the whole duration of the AoE of it, if you leave it for the full 5 seconds. And then the beam will auto fire, I think, or you can fire it early to get that burst of shred, which is equivalent to 3 stacks from the big hit there. So you want to plan that around. And you said you can also maybe hit the lanes from hit the next lane over with the gamma ray. So you're firing it from over here and it goes bzzz, all the way to the mid lane. You can blast someone in the jungle. You can take Gold Fury from the lane. You can actually use that as a tool to hit Gold Fury and Fire Giant, which is kind of funny. You have a big ability to try to steal these objectives from. I mean, you could do that with Janusol, but this is just funny here to have a giant laser just coming down and zapping you with it.
And it's just a terrifying thing when you hear it coming towards you in the jungle. It's just one of those things that lets
imagine this. You hear this sound.
Kind of like global threat.
It's like the world is ending. No, God, please.
Imagine, like, you know, so much zone control and objective control.
Stop.
You know, teams grouped up on the Fire Giant. You go throw that down, and all of a sudden Fire Giant's hitting a lot harder and taking a lot less damage. So there's a lot of great potential.
Yo, Atlas is a big brain, dude. I mean, he has to
And he has
be.
some good soft,
That's in the lore. He's the
soft
smartest
synergies there
Titan,
as
and he
well.
knows philosophy and
Passive,
astronomy and all that,
individual hits,
and
dropping
math
your team
and
quickly
all the
goes
fun
from
stuff, you
passive.
know?
You can use your 2, either the deployed version or the held
Dude
version.
is like
J2.
Einstein, except
You can use that
he's
to keep
huge
people
and
inside
can
of it.
control
You can
space.
shut people
Haha.
into the path of the beam. There's a lot of interesting things that you can do, a lot of different ways to kind of combine these skills for maximum effect. Choose what you want to try and prioritize in the fight. If you want to be an aggressive duo
So,
laner, you can kind of charge
very
forward and
fun.
try and control the enemy team. If you want to play more defensive, you can keep your abilities kind of close to your chest.
So yeah, like Pon saying, he's very flexible. He can be super aggressive, run at people, and do fun things. Grab them, throw them around, suck them in,
Yeah, and I mean, I know I'm excited to see it. Guardians are probably one of my most frequently played.
and hit them with the
I
big
love having a kit with so
blast
much diversity, so many different ways.
from the gamma rays, you know, or you can just hang out by your teammates, throw down your abilities,
I want to give a big shout out too to the
help peel for them, cleanse the slows, all those stuff.
This character, because he can either be holding or not holding the astrolabe,
Use the ult
that immediately almost doubles
AoE to
required for the character and
make him do less damage to your
What
allies.
happens when he has that out and another animation plays and he recalls it? How should those animations interact? The team did a huge amount of work to make sure that the astrolabe felt really heavy and really something that was burdening him.
Yeah.
But when he had that out, his animations changed in a way that felt really good. So, I mean, I think the team did an incredible job.
Oh, and I can see it. I got to talk to some of the animators myself.
Should pay attention to how he runs without it, though.
You know, it was a wild challenge.
Do it
designing
smoother.
God that essentially had 2 entirely different sets of animations for, do I have the astrolabe? Do I not have the astrolabe? So it's just, I mean, like with every God that comes out, there's new challenges, there's new...
Dude, this PTS is going to be wild.
And new fun things we can discover that we can do in the game. And I think Atlas displays a lot of those really well. So, super exciting. And
Final God of the season.
Yeah,
we got
final
there.
God of the season. It's every time somebody says that, I'm just blown away that it's already, you know, the end of the year. We're already getting to 8-12.
I was just doing starters. What happened?
I know, right? Well, so that's Atlas. He is going to come out.
So, like, I'm going to mute them for a second. It's important to point out the stuff with his kit. Is he does seem very strong, but it's important to note that his base damage on most of his abilities is pretty low, and he almost has extremely low scaling as well. So it's not like, you know, he hits you for 300 with everything and goes nuts. No, the only ability that actually hits you for that high is the dash at rank 5. Like, I don't even think the main damage from his ult actually does that. You actually maximize the damage from it by putting the AoE down, because that total actually does more damage if you leave it for the full duration than the actual gamma ray burst does. So it's not like he's completely overtuned and overpowered crazy. Now the thing we'll have to see is how strong is it having pull-based crowd control on multiple abilities. Or, well, no, it's really just the one, actually, that does that, but you have flexibility with that. I will see how strong Unburden is, especially with how the autos work. That could be a spot where he's a little bit overtuned. Based on how his auto attacks work, we'll have to see. We also don't know how that's going to interact with items. That'll be the thing to know. Anyway, big time God here. I think he's going to be really fun to have in the game. He's the first playable Titan in the game, which is a big deal. And he will very likely be the only playable Titan they ever add to the game, I imagine, because the other ones are weird or don't work. I think technically they have Cronus as... They've used Cronus as the Chaos Titan before, which is a little... I think. I mean, the model of it looks very much like the depictions of Cronus you might see. But that's not important. I mean, who wants the Titan that's basically 1,000 hands? Nobody wants to see that guy. I'm not going to put him in the game. I forget what his name was, but yeah, he's pretty ugly. So, I mean, Atlas is a good pick for a Titan to put in the game if you're going to do that, because he makes the most sense because he's actually a humanoid Titan. A lot of the other ones are not that way. Some of them are kind of weird. So, yeah, I think it'll be good here. I don't think he'll be too strong to come out. He looks like he can be pretty well balanced. I think that's what the team was careful of, since he can have multiple effects on his abilities. They wanted to limit how much damage he actually does with them, so it's not overpowered. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed that reaction on this God reveal for Atlas here. Like and subscribe if you did. Leave a comment down below if you want. As always, check the links down in the description. And with that, remember, guys, a gamma ray burst is a real thing that could hit the Earth at any time and completely destroy our civilization. And on that note, I will see you guys next time for some more Smite. Have a good one.